Good day, poker peeps. Let's talk about what your win rate should be when you 2-bet and then call a 3-bet pre-flop. Spoiler alert, it should be profitable. It should be a positive win rate. Let's get into this right here. So this is a video that I posted about 9 months ago. When do you earn the most? Do that more often. In the video, I walk you through a spreadsheet. I show you how to filter for various spots, the most common spots that you see the flop. And basically, I tell you that anything negative of a win rate is bad, and that's a leak that you need to work on. Anything positive is good. Of course, you want to make those numbers more positive, but positive is good, profitability. Negative is bad. That means you're losing money in those spots right there. Down below, recently, Ben made a comment. He was talking about how he did the exercise for himself, found it very eye-opening. I said, hey, glad you did the work. And then he came back with a really good question. I posted this in a Facebook forum. People are saying calling 3-bets nearly always can be negative, which I agree with. And a lot of coaches will tell you that too. I've heard it plenty of time from coaches and content makers myself. That negative 150 big blinds is acceptable, and we should just be trying to minimize these spots. Where do you think our negative big blind win rate should be here for calling 3-bets? AKA, what kind of numbers are you happy with seeing here? And let me tell you, honestly, I'm only happy with my own results, my students' results, students in the Poker Forge. I'm only happy if I see a positive win rate. When you 2-bet, then call a 3-bet. And let's get into my answer. I don't think that any negative win rate is acceptable, other than in the blinds where you're forced to commit chips. And we'll talk about that in a second when we look at my database. I'm only happy with positive win rates over large samples because you can't control what happens today or just this week, right? But in the long run, like when you look at an entire year, if you're making good decisions for the entire year, those good decisions should win out and you should be profitable with every play that you choose to commit chips with. Let's imagine all you could do was open then call 3-bets. At a win rate of negative 150 big blinds per 100 hands, your bankroll will not survive long. You'll be a losing player. You'll be out of the game, dipping into your life roll maybe to survive if your win rate was negative 150. Let's take a look at my Poker Tracker 4 database right now. So for this year, 28,000 hands, positive $195, playing 5NL and 10NL, positive 11 big blinds per 100 hands. So I'm a winning player this year. Now, the first thing to note, my 2-bet and then fold to 3-bet is at 74%. I fold way more often than most coaches would recommend that you do. And that's because I just avoid all of those ugly spots where calling the 3-bet is bad or 4-betting is also bad, right? I 2-bet because I think it's a good 2-bet to make. Raise first in or an ISO raise. I face a 3-bet, bad spot to continue. I quickly exit the hand. As you can see, about 75% of the time I'm folding right here. Now, before we get to my own win rate when I 2-bet, then call a 3-bet, let's actually look at this right here. Earlier, I said the only acceptable win rate is in the blinds. But it's only acceptable if it's better than negative 100 in the big blind and negative 50 in the small blind. And here's why. In the big blind, you're forced to commit one big blind no matter what your hand is. 9 deuce offsuit, 8-6 offsuit, 6-4 suit, queen 6 off, forced to commit that one big blind. If I'm making good decisions to call, to 3-bet, to 4-bet, whatever it might be, I should be making money on all of those decisions. If I had folded every single big blind hand, I'd be at negative 100. But the spots that I'm choosing to play, when I'm voluntarily putting money into the pot, I am saving myself with my win rate at negative 32. I'm saving myself 68 big blinds per 100 hands with my better choices. So that is an acceptable win rate. The lower, the better. If it was negative 20, negative 15, that would be awesome as well. But negative 32, definitely good because the plays I'm making are better than folding every big blind. In the small blind, I'm at negative 12. If I had folded every small blind, I'd be at between negative 40 and negative 50 because I play 5NL. The big blind is only 40%, So negative 40 and negative 50, but I'm at negative 12. Loving that right there. So now, and that's why this is the only acceptable negative spot. Let's take a look at my win rate when I'm raising first in, because we're talking about first raising and then calling a 3-bet. So let's look at that first win rate, and I recommend you do the same thing in Poker Tracker 4. Filter for raise first in. You can see I raised first in 3,100 times with a positive 124.8 big blinds per 100 hands. That means on average, when I raised, each of those 3,100 times, I made 1.25 big blinds every time. That means, let's just imagine my average raise size. Let's just say it's 3 big blinds across the board. No matter the position, I raise first in 3 big blinds. With a positive 1.25 big blinds per hand, that means when I'm committing 3 big blinds, I'm earning back that 3 plus 1.25. I have a positive return on investment on average every time I put out those 3 big blind chips as the raise first in player. Now, let's take a look at what's happening when I'm calling 3 bets. Go to More, Filters, Add Filter, Actions and Opportunities, Pre-flop, scroll down, Pre-flop calls, call the 3 bet. Add that to filter, raise first in, call the 3 bet, save and apply filters. Bam, 79 times. Like I said before, I'm folding 74% of the time. So my calling at 75, calling at 25% resulted in 79 calls made. I earned $65 when doing so, and my win rate is positive 1,188 big blinds per 100 hands. If per hand, that's positive 11.88 big blinds per hand. So let's just imagine every time I raise, I make it 3 big blinds. Somebody 3 bets me. If they made it 9 big blinds, I have to call an additional 6, but my total commitment is 9 big blinds. When I called these 79 times, I earned back that 9 big blinds, but I earned an additional 11.88 big blinds every time I call the 3 bet. It's a really good return on investment. It's a sign that I'm making great decisions when I'm calling 3 bets. So this is what I want to see for you and for all of my students. Like I said, you've got to be positive. So let's get back to my comment with Ben. So also, I think of my poker play like a business. If you're choosing to call a 3 bet and you're making good decisions, that's the key thing. You should be earning a positive ROI on the 9 big blinds you're committing. If we just think about a 9 big blind calling a 3 bet on average, right? Your total pre-flop investment is 9 big blinds. If any business sold a product or made a decision for $9 each time and it resulted in a $1.50 loss each time on average, they're throwing money away and making a huge error right there. I think of poker decisions the same way that any business would. If a play you make multiple times is resulting in a loss, it's a bad play to make, and you need to work on your decisions to turn it from a losing to a winning play. Also, another thing to think about is, what if your win rate when 3 betting to 9, you're the 3 better, not the caller, the 3 better. If 3 betting to 9 big blinds each time resulted in a win rate of negative 150 big blinds per hands, why would being the caller make losing okay, but being the raiser make losing bad, right? Either way, you're choosing to commit 9 big blinds and it's costing you 1.5 big blinds on average each time. That's a poor choice to be making. Here's another way to look at it. Let's imagine you were a sit and go player. All you played was $9 sit and goes. You played 10,000 for the year. But on average, after that $9 commitment at the end of the year, you lost $1.50 each of those tournaments. After 10,000 tournaments, you lost $15,000 right there, right? What a terrible commitment. What a terrible return on investment. Your bankroll's not going to survive long. You're not going to be long for this game with that negative win rate right there. So the big idea, go through your database, take a look at the different situations. Actually, refer to this video. Go back to this. There's a link in the description below. When do you earn the most? Do that more often. Run the filters, complete the spreadsheet, and work on all those areas where you see a negative win rate. And I guarantee you're going to be making more money once you do this process and actively work on improving those negative losing win rates, right? Well, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, comment down below, please, and I'll catch you in the next one.